I have a friend too who is dealing with the situation at work where there's another colleague of hers that kind of talks to her like in baby talk to like imitate or mimic her.
You're kidding.
So she'll come in and say like, what time is, this meeting over? And they'll like repeat it back to her and be like, what time's this meeting over?
Is it a
like,
man
and like
or a woman?
a man
Of
towards a
course it
woman,
is.
of course. Yeah. And like a Valley Girl accent or whatever, you know what I mean? And I told her like, that's actually kind of like an issue that I feel like needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And I said to her, I was like, I would say to him first, but if you feel like it's not received and like he's still doing it, like when you tell him, I'd be like, that doesn't make me feel good. There are other people around us that, aren't going to respect me as they should because they see you disrespecting me in that way. And I was like, if he's not receptive to that, then like, that's when I think that you need to go to the higher ups. Like in some ways, it's like a form of harassment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just feel like a lot of men especially get away with kind of like the little snide remarks at work and like doing this or that. And it's like not okay.
I agree.
So, and like, it can't be like the drama in the workplace and like women are blah, blah, blah. Like that's not it,
No, not at all.
Like there are certain situations where it's a power struggle and dynamic. And I feel like women, I mean, obviously I'm not a woman, I can't speak to this, but I hear experiences of friends of mine and you know what I mean? Like siblings that have dealt with that at work. And it's nothing other than a power struggle between a man and a woman. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
we see that so much. And that's why it's important to be able to do that because obviously there's like laws in place and things like that. But we also know that how the world is, right? It's like the good old boys club still. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is. So that's why in some ways you have to be your own advocate, which is unfair completely. But I feel like these are the situations where you do have to speak up for yourself and not allow yourself to be gaslit by the people that are doing these things,
I so agree. And it could be first as simple as her just when he does that to her and repeats back whatever she just said, she could just call him out on it in that moment and just say, why did you repeat that? And ask them. And it's almost like I've seen so many people give this piece of advice, but when someone makes a mean joke about you or they're making fun of you in that way, the best way to call them out on it is to ask them to explain themselves because you can't explain yourself when you're just being mean like that and when you're just mocking someone. Because if he was going to honestly explain himself, he would have to say, oh, I'm mocking you because I don't respect you. And I think your voice is annoying. Therefore, I think you're stupid. That's what he would have to say if he was going to tell the truth. So I think it couldn't hurt for her to first call him out like that and say, why did you just repeat me? And just say nothing else. Like if he's like, don't sit there and be like, because you sometimes do this thing where like, don't guide their answer. Literally just sit in silence, make them uncomfortable so that they have to explain themselves. And then if he genuinely says like, oh, you just speak in a funny way. Maybe that's when she's like, I don't speak in a funny way, actually. I don't know why you are interpreting my natural voice as me speaking in a funny way, but it's very disrespectful and plain out rude and mean to insult my voice in that way. The way that I speak and pronounce words has nothing to do with my intelligence, and it has nothing to do with how much you should respect me. And then if that doesn't work, yeah, go to higher ups or go to higher ups right now. But I think that it would really like scare the guy if he was called out.
That's great advice. I didn't even think about that. I think that's so smart.
That makes me so mad.
Yeah, that pissed me off too. That's why, I don't know, I just thought I'd share it because I feel like it relates to the whole situation.
Yes. Oh my God, she has to say something. That's ridiculous. And of course, that's just like such a trope. Like, I think so many people deal with that. Like, I've heard so many variations of the same story, and it just makes me so mad that people do that, especially in a workplace.
Yeah, and it's not like, not even that it would change it, but just like painting the dynamic. It's not like this like younger like guy that's like flirty. Well, maybe this guy is flirting, whatever, but it's not like a younger guy trying to like be cool, blah, blah, blah. It's like an old man who's doing this to her. Like someone that's like older than her father.
That's
at
insane.
work is doing it. And I'm like, that's, yeah.
Yeah, that one is actually crazy. And I want her to stand up for herself.
I'll report back. I'll ask about it and I'll report back.
Okay, good. Send her the link and just be like, timestamp.
Yeah.
32:45 or whatever.